I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. On Saturday, I sold my Cornsheller. Now, one of my Cornshellers. I have several. But the biggest Cornsheller, and the one that was working the best, I decided it was taking up way too much room in the garage, and I needed to have some materials to make the frame for the other Cornsheller, so I thought, well, I'll sell the one and use the profits from that to buy more wood to make a frame for the other one. While I was testing it, I ran some corn through it, and it was interesting, and I made a video of how it went through and what it looked like, and I got some interesting questions. Someone said, well, why do you need to shell corn? Well, honestly, I don't. I really have very little use for it. Well, I did take some of the corn and put it into the trap and catch chipmunks with it. So, I guess I used the corn. Other than that, really wasn't much use for the corn itself. I put it in a bottle, the stuff that I'd shelled, I put it in a bottle, and I kept the other ear corn in a bag so that when I get the other Cornsheller going, I can run a test with the ear corn and not have to buy more ear corn. Thinking ahead, planning. Trying to make sense out of everything, which is always difficult, but I do my best. Well, the other thing that happens is when you take the kernels off the ear, you end up with a cob. This thing. Now, many people have said, what are you going to do with that? And some made some interesting proposals, and I'm not going to do that. But there are several things you can do with a corn cob. You can snap off about 1.5 to 2 inches of the base, drill a hole in the side, take a reed, just a weed with a hollow center, and you put it into the hole. Then you can remove the soft pith on the inside so that there's a hole down to that pipe stem sticking in there. Then you can pack it full of whatever you'd like to smoke. That's your choice. You do what you want to do. And you can light it and use it as a corncob pipe. It used to be pretty popular because, pipes were expensive, especially if you bought one of those fancy meerschaum pipes or the rosewood pipes, and they had all the carving on it and fancy stuff. Well, this thing, if you were trying to make a living and getting by doing what you can do, you were stuck on the habit of smoking tobacco, which seemed to be a thing, or whatever you're interested in smoking. This made a cheap, inexpensive way to do what you wanted to do without putting a lot of money into it. Because if you were addicted to something, you were probably spending the money on that rather than anything else. So, you can make corncob pipes. Not a very popular thing these days, but you can do that if you're in a pinch. The other thing you can do, you can snap the corncob in half. Now you have two halves. Interesting thing about a corncob. It's closed on both ends. Both ends are tight and solid, but the center of it is soft. So you can take this file and jam it right in there. And it actually grabs a hold of the file pretty well. Makes a nice handle. Got a good grip to it. And if you're doing a lot of filing and your hands are sweating, no problem. This thing will absorb sweat. Not any issue at all. Kind of a cool thing to do. And also it makes two file handles at the same time. So now, not only do I have kernels of corn that I can use to bait the chipmunk trap, I have two file handles. And they didn't take any time at all to make. Well, that's one idea for what to do with a corn cob. What are your suggestions? If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. I read them all. Thanks for watching.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union without the express written permission of the parents or the legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.